All right, good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you everyone for coming. The reason why I called you all this afternoon is to give you what's called some information or an informative speech. Okay, let me start off by asking you this. How many of you in here, just give me a show of hands, how many of you in here have a family member that's over the age of 70? Family member, brother, sister, cousin? Okay, everybody. Okay, here's what I want you to do. Pay attention to the ages on these photos. This is my mother, Diane Raffy. She was diagnosed with Parkinson's at the age of 68. And most of you know who this is. This is Muhammad Ali. He was diagnosed with Parkinson's at the age of 42. Chris Johnson, he's a former running back with the Tennessee Titans. He was just diagnosed with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, at the age of 39. And Michael J. Fox, famous actor, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's at the age of 30. The beginning signs of that disease is tremors, muscle weakness, slurred speech, and whether you're a nursing supervisor, a heavyweight champion, a league-leading running back, or a famous actor, the one thing that these diseases, ALS, Parkinson's, and dementia, does is it robs you of your independence and your control. If you look in this interview here, C.J. Johnson has a device in front of him, and it's called a Tobii Dynavox, and it's assistive communicative technology. This technology is what made this interview possible. And I remember him saying in the interview, he said once he was diagnosed, he had been a few years retired, he said, look, I got two choices. I can quit or I can fight. So what he did was, he found this device, and what the device does, it actually made him an example for other people, especially people in the young age, because when it hits you at these ages, it's considered early onset. It usually doesn't come and hit people that young. But what it did for him is it made him an example for anybody who ever has this disease, that you can still be able to function with this technology. What Tobii does is it has what's called eye tracking technology. The majority of people, like my mother, she was bedbound. She couldn't move, she couldn't speak, she couldn't raise her hands to point. And for her, it was a game changer. And it's designed to make communicating with caregivers and doctors and nurses as simple as possible. I just remember going sometimes, and her and the caregiver would get into it because she was trying to tell them, look, you know, I done shit on myself. I need somebody to change me. And she would try to say it, and the lady couldn't understand what she was saying. So it causes a real uncomfortable situation because they don't feel like a person anymore. Okay, what it does is, if you look at this screen here, this is a sample of what the home screen of this device looks like. Okay, I'm gonna ask Mr. Jason here. All I want you to do is pick this first line right here, point, and then say the words that's on the screen. That's all you gotta do.
Needs, food and drinks, my words about me, more.
Right. Now, just imagine if you needed to do that, but you can't speak and you can't raise your hands to point. That's where Tobii takes over. What it does is it reads your eye movements, and as you move your eyes back and forth, you bat your eyelashes, and then your eyes actually become like a mouse. So when you bat your eyelashes, it clicks needs, it clicks foods, it clicks my words, and then a computer-generated voice will say what you need. I know what it also will do is, let's say you left a voice message on somebody's phone, you can take that voice file, put it into the software that they have, and it will regenerate your actual voice to say each and everything that's on the screen, so you feel like you're talking to the person. This also takes out, like I said, the guesswork for the doctors. If, like my mother had a situation where the medication that she was using, it wasn't working and she needed something stronger. If they don't have somebody there to advocate for them, this will do the advocating for them. Also, the speech therapist is the one that will take this information, download it into their software, and set everything up so that that person will be able to communicate and sort of get their life back on track and just feel like a person again. This was also, for my mom's situation, this device was also covered by Medicare B. So if somebody has Medicare B, you know how our insurance is. I don't know. We didn't use our insurance. She had Medicare, but it is covered by that. So each individual situation will decide what level of device you get, because they have different levels. The one thing that I can say just from experience is that all of us are going to get older at some point. The doctor could not tell me if this was hereditary. Who knows? It might happen to me one day. But to know that you have this technology, at the very least, save the website, save it in your phone, give it to a family member that you think may be getting older, and have them research this, because I really think it's a game changer. It will give people back their dignity, their independence, and for people like my mother, who was a nursing supervisor for over 40 years, and Muhammad Ali, who wanted to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee, somebody who's a running back, and somebody who wants to be a Hollywood actor, it gives you back control, and that's the most important thing. So thank you very much, and I can take one question. Anybody have any questions? No? All right. Thank you, gentlemen.